Welcome to the Doo Doo Divas Smells Like Money podcast. I'm your host, Suzanne Chin Taylor, CEO and founder of Creative Raven, the firm that helps wastewater industry contractors and manufacturers unlock the power of digital marketing, AI, and PR to boost sales and opportunities. Whether it's through our online marketing and lead generation programs or providing a fully outsourced marketing department, we are passionate about helping businesses in the wastewater and civil infrastructure sectors not just survive, but thrive in today's digital world. Each episode, I'll be bringing you expert tips and strategies to help you grow and succeed. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Doo Doo Divas Smells Like Money podcast. Today, we have the great pleasure of visiting with Hye Jin Lee, who is a professional engineer, that PE designation, as well as being the Public Works Director for the City of Chino, California. So welcome to the show, Hye Jin.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be able to speak with you.
Well, we met through LinkedIn, but what was really interesting when we, jumped on the call to see, what did we want to talk about on the podcast? We found that we had a mutual connection in that I just wrote a story that's going to be coming out in Municipal Sewer and Water magazine about the mutual aid program with the Inland Empire. I think I've got this right. The Inland Empire Utility District and the City of Chino is part of that.
Absolutely.
And the City of Chino had the distinction of being the host of this year's training event for the mutual aid program. And so I wanted you to share a little bit about the program itself, because I think it's a phenomenal idea, and why Chino was involved in it, and what was your role this year and what took place during that training event, because I think this is really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we are a excellent collaborator with IEUA. It's Inland Empire Utility Authority. And what they do, IEUA is our wastewater treatment agency.
Okay.
We are a collection agency. However, IEUA is located in Chino. So what we do is we are a mutual aid to each other in case we have a sewer overflow. So as a part of that partnership, we actually hosted a regional training for all of our sewer operators, including IEUA. And they came to the City of Chino, and we hosted them lunch, and we cooked some burgers and hot dogs and, all the good things that comes with training. And we were able to make sure that our operators are properly trained for in case of what happens with an SS or sanitary sewer overflow. And they actually said that we had the biggest turnout this year. And we usually we go around and host, and usually IEUA does most of the hosting. But this year we volunteered, since we're partners. Instead of having just one agency host it, like we volunteered to host, and our deputy public works director at the yard said, you know what, we'll do it this year, and we're centrally located, and we had the most agencies represented and getting the same type of training. About a year ago, IEUA actually had an unfortunate incident of an sanitary sewer overflow. One of their old pipe that they were going to abandon accidentally had an overflow, and we were the first one there helping them with cleanup. So we thought that that was an excellent opportunity to partner, not only in the real field collaboration, but even training to make sure that our field crews are well equipped and prepared to respond to any emergencies.
It's a fantastic program, and so glad that you're part of it, which kind of leads us in, since they're your treatment partner, for lack of a better word, that your collection, everything goes to them, is that you had shared with me before we came online that they had done a major plant upgrade. Which helps, because of all the volume. And as we know, in Southern California, it's a growing area, but that your city is very old. What did you say? 100 years. And so
over 100 years old.
Over 100 years. So the infrastructure is old along with that. And that, yes, that's great that you've done a treatment plant upgrade for the region, but unless you address the I&I issues that are in the collection system,
Mm-hmm.
we're only going to wind up in the same problem of needing to expand or needing bigger, better, faster, more type of plant, that you wind up in the same situation 5 years from now that you are today. And that just doesn't work. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I really like is that the city of Chino, knowing that they're contributing to this problem, not
Mm-hmm.
deliberately,
Yep.
decided to be proactive and go about how much further can we seal our system
Mm-hmm.
to help eliminate the burden on the treatment plant. So I wanted to bring you on the show to maybe share with the peers who might be listening, what are some of the things that you have done that have really moved the needle in bringing down that I&I and burden on the system within the city of Chino?
Yeah, so as a part of our capital improvement program, we have about 7 miles of what we call it a trenchless technology sewer improvement or sewer improvement or rehab. So as you know, digging up deep sewers are very expensive. So
Right.
what we decided to do was, if we have an opportunity to ensure that the structural integrity of the pipe is good, but if we have a little bit of an offset or we have an infiltration from other parts of the pipe, we are gonna do we call it a CIPP liner. It's a cure in place pipe, and those are at the fraction of the cost of actually digging up the sewer pipes. But we get a lot more work done. So we're planning to do about 7 miles of trenchless technology sewer upgrade in the next fiscal year. And also, as a part of that, as you know, I'm glad that you did mention about our agency's infrastructure that are aging, but also our sewer lateral, our customer side is also aging. And what we decided in 2022, council said our residents are having a difficult time maintaining their sewer laterals, especially when it comes to leaving their property line and coming into the street side to connect
Mm,
to our sewer main. So, and a lot of our infiltration comes from even our sewer laterals.
right.
So we have taken on the responsibility of um, overseeing and upgrading our sewer lateral up to the property line. So we're going to have another program just addressing our sewer lateral program, and basically um, similar to what we do even in our mainline. We may do a replacement if it's not salvageable structurally, it's not salvageable, but if it's structurally salvageable, we plan to do lining even on the sewer line up to the property line, and also give them a clean out so that they could even do some of those maintenance themselves.
Right.
So
Now you'd also mentioned, like I know that's an added cost for a city, but so you decided to take that on because I guess you figured that if we do this, it will eliminate some of the I&I
that's right.
and it will pay for itself
Mm-hmm.
in the long run.
Yes, that's right.
So are you doing anything to, I guess, encourage homeowners that might have aging lines that where it's their responsibility to start thinking about inspecting and maybe point repair or lining their own lines in conjunction with what you are doing to really create a fully closed system?
We have not done that yet. I think we are going to have where city's actually planning a resident academy
Oh,
to
interesting.
introduce, yeah, a resident academy to introduce all the different departments. And City of Chino decided that Public Works actually deserved like a whole session because we have so many divisions. So one of the things that we want to address is part of those infrastructure issues, even on the customer side. So we would have
Right.
an opportunity for education and training. And can I go back to one statement that I made about our capital program?
Sure.
Um, so if obviously if the cavity and the structurally is good, but sometimes we have what we call an offset that's too much for us to be able to line. So on those, we're gonna do what we call it a point repair. We're gonna
Hmm.
make sure that we're gonna have to dig up like maybe an 8 foot section of the pipe to make sure that those sections have a smooth connection, and then we can line it. But it still beats having to dig up the whole pipe.
Right.
Uh,
And I imagine you encounter that being in Southern California, seismically active, seismically active
yes,
area, that things are going to happen when the ground
that's
moves.
right.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So, what else is the city doing as far as, they're proactive? I know this, what are they hoping with this proactive approach on the laterals that it's going to do for them? Because I'm sure this is quite a large expenditure. You said 7 miles of, your main, but how
Mhm.
many laterals are you hoping to accomplish with that? Is it going to be along those same stretches of that
Yes.
7 mile? Okay.
Yeah. So every time we do a rehab, we will address, we'll do the conditions assessment. And if it could be line, we'll line them. But if it's not, then we'll actually replace it all the way to the property line.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That way we don't have to come back for another 50 years.
All right. Now, how did you go about selecting like these first 7,000? And I take it there's going to be, it's a very large, there's going to be more after that, but this is what's slated for right
Yeah.
now. How did you
So our
prioritize?
Yeah, so our crew have a CCTV, so it's a closed circuit TV that could actually video inspect our pipes, and they video inspect about 13 miles a year,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and they also clean about 13 miles a year. And so we have an excellent inventory of what the conditions look like. And so these are the prioritized locations per our field operators telling us like, hey, we inspected this and these are the areas that could really use some lining or some point repairs. And then we could line it. So we are doing it in conjunction of obviously some areas cannot be lined, but
Right.
those areas we're going to have to dig them up. But we are planning to do about 7 miles a year.
Oh, fantastic. Well, now, are you doing the lining and the point repair, some of it in-house, or is that all contracted out?
Those are contracted out because we don't have sufficient staffing for that, but it is a capital project.
Right.
And yeah, we want to make sure that it's done expeditiously with the larger crew. So those will be contracted out as a capital project.
All right. So with those 7 miles, you're saying that's just within 1 year that you're hoping to
We're
do this?
hoping to do that, yes.
Wow, that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, it might ramp down once we've addressed the worst of the cases, but we're planning for the next few years that we're doing about 7 miles.
Wow. What are you anticipating as the savings as far as the INI percentage wise that you're going to be able to stave off in this?
Yeah, we don't have a stats for that. I know one of the things that IEUA as the our treatment regional partner, they are monitoring closely about what how much flow they're getting, and then how much they think that we are getting infiltration. Obviously, in Southern California, it just happens that in the region our groundwater level is really high, so a lot of the infiltration is actually groundwater coming in into the
Wow.
sewer pipes. Yeah,
Where is that groundwater coming from? It's like you wouldn't think of California having a high because you're not on the coast. You're inland.
correct,
So being having that
correct.
high groundwater table, where is that? What water body is contributing to that?
Well, we have Santa Ana River,
Okay.
and we have Cucamonga River, channel, Chino Creek channel. So we do
Uh,
have a lot of bodies of water, but IUA, Inland Empire Utility Authority, and Chino Basin Water Master Plan, Chino Basin Water Master,
mhm.
they manage our groundwater.
Okay.
And so we pump from actually an aquifer underground.
Okay.
Yeah, so about 40% of our drinking water comes from groundwater. Actually, more like 75% comes from groundwater because we actually have a Chino desalter who extract brackish water and treat it and then to a drinking water quality. So like we're gonna talk about and probably in the next time, water has a cycle and every
Right.
water and every drop is very valuable in Southern California.
Yeah, because it's almost, you know, it's almost like a desert
It is.
environment. You don't want to think about it,
Mhm,
but it is.
mhm.
So, yeah, with that, for those of you tuning in on our next episode, we're going to continue our conversation because, you know, you're capturing all that I. So the goals here that I saw were one, we need to prevent water that shouldn't be entering the system from coming into the
Mhm.
system and having to be treated and putting the burden on the plant. But on the flip side, how Chino is actually using the wastewater that is coming
Mhm.
into the water that they actually do want to come into the plant, and turning
Yes,
that in to a valuable resource for an area where every drop counts. And so we're going to be talking about that
absolutely.
next time. So for
Yes.
those who are interested in maybe learning more a little bit about what Chino is doing, they can visit their website, correct, to learn more about.
Yes.
And that website address is, Hye Jin?
Yeah, well, let me check and see. It's actually cityofchino.org.
Oh, wow. So that makes it
Yeah,
pretty simple.
it
That's
is. Yeah,
CHINO.
yeah.
And yeah, so thank you for sharing with us, you know, what you've been doing there at the city. And I'm really looking forward to our next episode to talking about how you're turning that wastewater, that dirty water into a resource and how it's benefiting your city. And so, you know, thanks for sharing your knowledge and your city's history and what you're doing. Hope you, audience, you got something out of this. And, you know, reach out if you're a city person and you want to learn more about what your peer here, Hye Jin, is doing at the city, and maybe, you know, picking her brain on ways that you can incorporate something and be just as proactive. I'm sure she would welcome the reach out, and her contact information will be in the show notes below. And I want to thank you for sharing this time with us. And until next time, keep it flowing. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If you're ready to take your marketing to the next level and start increasing sales and opportunities for your business, reach out to us at Creative Raven. We're here to help you thrive in the digital landscape. Visit creativeraven.com or click the link in the show notes below to schedule a call and learn how we can support your growth. If you enjoyed the insights on today's episode, be sure to hit subscribe so you'll never miss an update. Until next time, keep growing and keep it flowing.